I'm alive, and I've got 5 tips for college. Hello, my collegiate viewers. So you're wondering what special secrets I have to bestow upon you about the wonders of college. Well, let me tell you, I got 5 of them on this sheet of paper right here that I'm gonna list off in front of a camera, because that's just how I roll. I've gathered this experience from attending a community college for over 2.5 semesters, so since it is a community college, I won't have any tips about housing or any of that, so you'll look for another video for that. This is just about going to class, navigating like the simple basic campus stuff, just real simple, straightforward video that applies to everyone, even those transferring to community colleges. So without further ado, let's get started. Number 1. Don't miss any of your classes the first week. Now, this is an extremely important thing. If you miss your first class, 90% of the time the teacher drops you immediately. Now, obviously, some teachers have different rules and different thoughts and ideas around it, but most of the time it is a requirement, at least in the LA Unified School District, that the student is dropped if they do not attend that first class. So even if you have smallpox, wheel yourself to that first class so that you're at least able to say here on the attendance roll and you don't get dropped entirely. Also, it gives you a chance to see whether or not your teacher is a normal person who understands that you're paying for the units and can attend class or not attend class depending on how you're feeling, and really you're the only one at detriment, or they're a psycho who will drop you if you miss 2 classes. I mean, you never know, so it's always good to show up that first day. A side note, usually they hand out syllabuses on the first day, and those things will save your butt. So little bonus tip that I literally just thought of right now: keep a hold of and treasure your syllabi, because those things will come, syllabi? I think that's what you call it. I think it's called the syllabi. Those things will come crazy in handy. So you should definitely hold on to those, because it can be the difference between showing up to a test completely unprepared without your Scantrons and getting an A if you know what those dates are. Plus, teachers are required to adhere to their syllabi. So if the teacher is doing something fishy and it doesn't line up with what they said in the syllabi, I'm gonna keep calling it syllabi. If it's wrong, I guess rip, sorry guys, you're gonna have to deal with it for this video. If they do something that doesn't line up with the syllabi, you can bring it to your counselor, yada yada yada, and you have grounds to be like, hey, this is wrong, because they said that they were gonna do this at the beginning of the semester. So boom, 2-for-1 deals. Technically, I guess it's 6 facts now, whatever. Number 2 is be prepared for college lectures. So high school lectures kind of hit you like this, but college lectures are more kind of like this. Basically, with college, what you're getting is a very condensed academic experience. So you may look at your schedule and be like, oh, I only have 2 classes today. But then by the time you get home, your brain's about to explode, because they're constantly just chucking information at you that you need to hold in your head. And that leads me right into my next one, which is don't hold it all in your head. Utilize the Notes app on your phone. This thing saved my butt countless times, and as soon as I kind of got the hang of, you know, the rhythm of college through the first semester, I realized that if I had been putting things in my Notes app since the beginning, I would have missed a lot less quizzes and stuff. Because the thing about college that's really, really terrifying is that there's literally no one to hold you accountable but you. If you don't show up to class, that's fine, but you gotta suffer the consequences. The same thing goes for literally anything. Assignments being due, this, that. The teachers will likely only tell you when things are happening once, and they'll have a canvas for you to check if you're lucky. So my personal recommendation is, as soon as you hear a piece of information or you have in your head, I gotta get this, 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 and this done by the end of the day, ooh, rock and roll. Put it all in your Notes app, and at the end of the day, you'll know exactly what you need to do by when, and you'll just kind of tick things off without having to try and store all that information in your head. Number 4 is buy your own snacks. Now, this is huge. It sounds like a kindergarten tip, but it's for real. When you have a day where you're at school from 8 to 12:45, you're gonna need to stop to eat, even if you have a nice breakfast somewhere in the middle there. And the school has tons of vending machines for you, so you'll never be without food. But the problem is, all that's in these vending machines are sugar and small amounts of carbs. So you're never gonna feel full, you're never gonna feel satisfied, and it has little nutritional value in it. But dad lecture about nutrition aside, the truth is these are extraordinarily overpriced, and the cost racks up like crazy if you don't pay attention to it. I seriously checked my budget, and last semester alone, I spent $100 on snacks. Especially if you're paying with a card, those fees add up. So it's much better for you to go to just like any sort of store like a Smart and Final or something and just get a bunch of smaller snacks to take with you, because the vending machine looks like it's your friend, but when you check your bank statement at the end of the semester, you'll realize that you spent way more money than you could have ever imagined on snacks. All right, guys, so my number 5 tip is basically what your counselor has probably told you like 15 times already, but get involved in clubs. College, especially four-year colleges, can be an extremely lonely experience, especially if you're just starting out with no friends going to that school and you don't know the area. The quickest way to make actual connections is to go to a club that you're interested in and find people who are also interested in that, and there's an instant connection there and you can make some great friendships. Now, it's a really cheesy thing. You're probably going to be like me and be like, whatever, clubs, bleh, and just not do it forever, but the moment I enlisted in one club, my life completely changed. It was absolutely fantastic, and it made going to school a lot more joyful of an experience because it gave me some sort of social hub instead of waking up, watching a guy lecture for an hour and a half, then going home, doing homework, and crying. Alright guys, well I hope you enjoyed all these tips. If you did, good on you, man. Glad that you could glean something from this video that I threw together haphazardly. What is something that you would like to recommend to people? What's your personal college tip that you learned a little too late in the game and you're like, I wish I knew that going in? Leave that down in the comments section below. I'd love to see what kind of advice you guys are willing to give. Alright guys, that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it wholeheartedly. Stay positive and have an awesome day.
Hello, hello, can you stay